Hello and welcome to The Kurt Locker, a podcast where we chronologically step through and discuss each film starring Kurt Russell. My name is Andrew Gormley and I am one of your hosts. I am joined on this episode by my co-hosts. She wants the flamethrower, Whitney Nelson.
Correct.
She's going to hide this podcast when we're finished. If none of us make it, at least there will be some kind of a record. Lindsay Nelson joins us.
The world has to know.
It's been too long, and people were starting to get worried about us, I think. So it's good. You should hide it. You should hide it.
We were just on an Arctic expedition, and it's hard to get the radio signals from it.
Yeah, thousands of miles away from anybody. That's clearly what was happening. You know, it wasn't stupid work getting in the way. It's just being so far away from everything. Couldn't get a signal.
Any number of scheduling snafus.
All of them. I think
All
all of them. But it's good to be back. I'm excited. This is like a very favorite thing of mine to do. So chat movies with y'all. So I'm excited to be back. Let's get into this one because it's a big one. It's also a big one. So let's get started.
It's a big one.
As always, I want to mention you can find our podcast, this one and other ones we do at 12and24.com. That's the numerals 12and24.com. You can email us for this podcast at kurtlockerpod@gmail.com or hit us up on Twitter at kurtlockerpod. Try to keep it simple. Simple and consistent. You can also join us on Discord and chat in real time at 12and24.com/Discord. That link is also in the show notes of this episode if you just want to give it a tap. I think all you need is like first name, last name, and you pick a username. You're in the Discord. You're chatting with us in real time, listening to the show potentially in real time, all that good stuff. Even in our absence from recording the podcast, the Discord persists, which is nice. Mm-hmm. The conversation continues. You love to see it. You love to see it. And finally, if you want to support us with just a moment of your time, completely for free, please share the show with your friends, rate and review us on iTunes. It brings more folks into the fray. We game the algorithm. We get more listeners, more appreciation for Kurt. It's all good in the hood. All that stuff's out of the way. Lindsay, if you could, please tell us why we're here.
Yes, today we are talking about the film The Thing.
12 men have just discovered something. For 100,000 years, it was buried in the snow and ice. Now it has found a place to live, inside, where no one can see it, or hear it, or feel it.
I know I'm human. Some of you are still human. This thing doesn't want to show itself. It wants to hide inside an imitation. It'll fight if it has to, but it's vulnerable out in the open. If it takes us over, then it has no more enemies. Nobody left to kill it. And then it's won.
You guys gonna listen to Gary? He can be one of those things!
Absolute classic of 80s horror. The plot synopsis from IMDb is a research team in Antarctica is hunted by a shape-shifting alien that assumes the appearance of its victims. And this movie was written by Billy Lancaster and directed by the one and only John Carpenter.
Yeah.
It's co-starring alongside Kurt, of course, is Wilford Brimley, Keith David, Richard Mercer, T.K. Carter, David Clennon, and a bunch of other dudes. No women in sight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. That's true.
Lots of testosterone in this movie and no ovaries. But not that, of course, that's the only thing that makes a woman or that all women have ovaries. I'm just saying you could not find one to save your life in this movie.
Right.
So, Whitney, what do the critics and audiences have to say about The Thing?
All right. So, this one I find interesting because at the time, notoriously, this got panned by the critics. But over the course of time, on Rotten Tomatoes, this now has an 86% critic certified fresh score.
Dang.
The audience, however, has given it 92%, which is honestly the reason why the critic score has gone from being everyone panning it when it's in theaters to it being an 86% critic score now. The 92% audience score, the voice of the people, convinced the critics to look at it a second time.
Yeah, you got to revisit this one, guys.
Yeah.
You slept on it the first time.
Yeah. Everyone slept on it. So we have a quote from Adam Smith of Empire Magazine, who says, "The Thing is a peerless masterpiece of relentless suspense, retina-wrecking visual excess, and outright nihilistic terror."
Wow. Okay.
User on Rotten Tomatoes, Johnny A, gave it 5 out of 5 stars and says, "Possibly my favorite movie of all time. And it has Kurt Russell. This movie creates such an eerie, Lovecraftian horror atmosphere that you'll feel uneasy the entire time you're watching. The practical effects are incredible and disgusting. Acting is a solid A+, and the music helps set an oppressive, isolated environment."
Yeah, I mean, it's got one of those John Carpenter scores that truly slaps.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Listener Claire's mom says,
Claire's mom!
"I found The Thing interesting to watch every time he broke out of a body and ran away with spider legs and stuff. I do find it interesting how many aliens have spider legs. It's probably because people are afraid of spiders. I liked the blood test scene. Kurt Russell is so smart." Agreed,
Yes.
Claire's mom.
Yep.
Well done.
And I mean, the blood
Well
testing scene is one of those scenes that's been so parodied and homaged that lots of people know it who have never even seen The Thing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, Whitney, I think so I saw this probably in the early 90s, I guess. And I think you said you had seen it within the past year-ish,
Yep.
right? Year and a half-ish,
Yep.
right? And Lindsay, had you not seen this before?
No, I saw this in the early aughts when I was kind of trying to go back and fill in the gaps in my horror movie curriculum.
Got it. Okay. So, I think Whitney should start then, having seen it the most recently. And just like, this is like a very of the time horror movie in the early 80s, with lots of the great stuff that we know and love, practical gore effects and all that stuff. So tell us, do you think that this movie holds up? Do you like this movie?
I do like this movie. I do think it holds up. I think, again, we've talked about this many, many times over this podcast and Cool Breeze Over the Mountains, but practical effects are the way to go if you want your movie to age well. There's definitely some stuff that looks cheesy. We are so used to horror movies, both then and now, giving you like hidden glimpses of the bad guy and teasing out the reveal of the bad guy. And John Carpenter's like, the bad guy looks like 50 different things and you have to look at it square in its eyeballs.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite things actually about The Thing, is that The Thing looks different and has different like ways, like it moves differently, it looks differently, like it's sometimes it looks sort of human-esque.
Yeah.
Sometimes it looks like plants in a Star Trek, or like Audrey in Little Shop of Horrors. Sometimes it looks like a spider head, and it moves differently and looks differently in every time we see The Thing. So I'm definitely with Claire's mom on that one. The way that it like moves and the way that it appears, we don't ever see one set, this is what this alien actually looks like. It morphs every time we see it, which I think really adds to the we don't know where it is, we don't know how it adapts kind of a thing, because even when we see it in an alien form, it's different every time.
Yeah, it doesn't give you any guidelines to work with, like even the physical space it takes up. It can be the size of one of the Huskies, or it can fill an entire room. So there's no way that you can say like, oh, we know for sure it's not in here or anything like that.
Well, and at that one point when it takes over the head, it's just the size of a head with spider legs. So it's or the blood, like when the blood gets up and moves away. When they do the blood test, it's different locomotion. It's different, like just from what we know of biology and plant life and everything. It looks different every time you see it. There's no way to pin it down, which really adds to the there's no way to pin this monster down. What is it? And I like that it's called The Thing, and that they really keep you, like, you know, The Walking Dead, they have all these different names for the zombies, but it's always, you know, the Shamblers or the Walking Dead or the whatever. It always makes sense that someone would see a zombie and think this word. The Thing, you can't find any words for it because it completely defies labeling.
Yeah, it's beyond classification.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So I like that. I definitely think that this movie hits different, seeing it for the first time in the era of COVID.
It's also kind of just all a little bit of history repeating, because this was done in the midst of Cold War paranoia, and now we have like pandemic paranoia.
Well, yeah, but there's also, I think specifically pandemic goes hand in hand with this movie in a very interesting way because of the not knowing who has it, not knowing who, like, not knowing who's vaccinated, not knowing what environment you could be in that would put you into danger. And then specifically in the blood test scene, every person is convinced, like, I don't have it. I know I'm me. I'm not the alien. But every single time that they're about to test the blood, there's a cut to the person who's about to be tested to be like, oh shit, do I have it?
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Maybe I have it and I don't know that I'm not me. And I think that maybe my body is betraying me with this secret infection feeling takes on a different level of meaning now than it would any other time.
Yeah.
So I found that a compelling part of this movie, seeing it for the first time in a pandemic, it definitely takes on a different meaning for me than it would if I were, you know, a teenager watching my first horror movie. I definitely think that some of the makeup stuff is a little bit, and this is John Carpenter and his body horror. Some of it is like very cartoony to me. Mm-hmm. Some of it holds up so well, though, that it's crazy. When the guy sticks his hand in the other guy's face and you can see all his fingers through the skin of the face, that shit's wild. And that looks real now still. Like when that tentacle comes out of the headless, or the bodiless head, when the tentacle comes out of its mouth and uses it to like drag the head along, like that's gross. But it doesn't make me go. But when he stuck his hand in the other guy's face and you could see all of his fingers moving around under the skin, that makes me go.
Yeah.
The various autopsies were all pretty like...
The autopsies are great.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of the autopsy scenes, anytime that they're slicing into somebody, it's beautiful. I love that the movie is all cold tones to start out. It's all whites and grays and blues and very cold tones. And the more, like, every time that you see, like, a lot of blood and gore, the movie gets a little bit, like, more pink or more purple or more, like, the lighting and the way that they did that, where it's, like, kind of goes to these ultraviolet colors, it's more and more saturation of those colors as you see more and more gore. Like every time there's gore from then on, you see more saturation of stuff. I think that that's really, really, really expertly done. I think that's a huge shout out to the lighting, and the cinematographer did an excellent job with that. I think that Wilford Brimley this is going to be a little bit of a spoiler thing. I mean, we're going to talk about it in depth anyway, but not knowing when Wilford Brimley is infected, and so not knowing when this, like, good-natured older guy with the head on his shoulders that everyone in the group likes, when the doctor goes from being an ally to not being an ally, is wildly ambiguous in the whole movie. And even watching it through a second time a year later, I was looking for, when is Wilford Brimley, like,
the moment
an alien, and you can't tell. Even going back and watching for it, and I think his performance is just exceptional. I think that
so
Kurt Russell does a good job in this movie. I don't think that he
his character is much more straightforward.
His character is so much more straightforward. I think Wilford Brimley has such a nuanced and incredible performance that it really kind of blew me out of the water when I first saw it. And it did again just now on rewatch. Obviously the score. We love the score. Everyone loves the score. Quentin Tarantino loved the score so much he's used that composer 3 times since.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, and also that composer is like half of, or at least a quarter of the entire soundscape of movies. Like, you know.
Well, yeah. No, I mean,
he did.
Easy. Yeah.
In spaghetti westerns and stuff to help define the way movies sound. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know. Yes. Composer is excellent.
I mean, I'm just saying.
What is his name? It's Morricone.
Yeah. I just put Ennio Morricone.
Yeah.
Morricone. Yeah.
Ennio. I thought it was Enrico. But yeah.
Yeah, the score is very good about placing it in a time period, but not dating the movie. I feel like there's so many things that could have dated this movie that don't actually date this movie. I feel like the score has a very sort of synthy vibe, but does not necessarily. This movie, for me personally, seeing it a year ago and then again now, and knowing when it was made and knowing, you know, what Kurt Russell's hair looks like in it and all of that stuff, I expected it to feel dated. And in watching it, there's very few points where it feels dated. It's really quite current feeling. And that's just because everyone did such a good job in this movie. You watch E.T., which came out like 2 weeks before this movie, and E.T. feels very dated.
Yeah.
But this one, and part of it is they have the ability to do that because it's a research station. So the tech and the whatever doesn't necessarily date as quickly as like being in a home and having the wrong kind of television set for the decade or whatever. It's a little bit easier to be more removed. But I feel like the movie really feels much more current than most movies I can think of from the 80s.
Yeah.
And then I think that's everything. I think that's all my I'm trying to think of all of my notes, but I like the ambiguous ending. I've always liked an ambiguous ending. I did not realize the first time that I saw this that John Carpenter has said one of the two at the end is afflicted.
Huh.
Yeah. There's some real intense fan theories about this.
So yeah, I didn't delve deep into any of that because I didn't want to like tread on any trivia or anything. But John Carpenter in an interview at least once has said either Kurt Russell or what's the other guy's name?
Childs.
It's
Keith David.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
One of those two.
Childs. Yeah.
One of those two at the end is an alien, but hasn't said which one.
God damn it, John Carpenter.
And so I didn't know that going into it the first time, and I did not pick that up. I just thought those two were freezing to death with a little bit of suspicion and camaraderie and some scotch.
Sure.
And they were like, we're just going to sit here and freeze to death. But one of them isn't going to freeze to death because it's an alien. It's just going to go to sleep until the crew picks it up. I love an ambiguous ending. And so I like it even more the second time knowing that it's an ambiguous ending and that probably that alien is going to escape and infect the world one day. But any way you slice it, there's no proof of the alien being dead. There's no proof of either of the two characters, Childs or McCready, like surviving or not surviving. We'll just sit here and wait a while, and then the movie's ends, and I like that. I like that almost as much as I like an unreliable narrator.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
No, it's both storytelling moves that, when done well, are really excellent. Yeah.
Who's next?
Lindsay, I'd love for you to go next. I think we could probably just work reverse chronologically from time seen.
Okay, we'll go. Yeah, so I really love this movie. This is one that I was, excited for you guys to get to because I have been a big fan of it for a while. And I think, so this movie has an interesting legacy of there was a 1950s movie version of this story called A Thing from Another World, which was inspired by a short story called Who Goes There, which was inspired by a short story called From the Mountains of Madness. So which is H.P. Lovecraft, the original From the Mountains of Madness, which I interestingly think this is the best adaptation of Lovecraft, and it's not even actually an adaptation of Lovecraft.
It's so far removed.
Yeah, it's 5 steps removed from the original Lovecraft story. And but the author of Who Goes There, which it is a direct adaptation from, what's his name? I have it in my notes. Yeah, John W. Campbell Jr., who wrote it under the pen name Don A. Stewart. And this is clearly a very direct adaptation of that short story. He said he was inspired to write that short story after reading From the Mountains of Madness, which is an H.P. Lovecraft short story about I think in that case it's an Arctic, not an Antarctic research team that finds aliens. But this is... I actually think that some people say that this is a remake of the 1950s movie, and I actually think it's closer to the fact that they were both made based off of the same short story than that this was a direct adaptation of the 1950s one. They've got a lot of similarities, obviously, because they're based off of the same story. Interestingly, the John Carpenter one changed a lot more of the plot. And yet I think captures the feel of the book much better, because the pervasive feeling of the book is the suspicion and the paranoia. And that I think was captured much better in the John Carpenter version than in the 50s version, which has some good stuff about it too. But it's not as bleak for sure, the 50s version.
Well, yeah, of course.
And the paranoia isn't as... One thing I will say, though, that it kept more from the book is that the alien is a lot physically weaker in the story, which is part of why all of the sneaking around and copying people. The thing in this movie, you don't really understand why it doesn't just straight up attack them, because it's every time that it morphs or they see it, or it's very big and destructive and scary and powerful. Where if they all fought it at the same time, it could still probably take them. Whereas in the book, it does all the copying and sneaking around because one or two of them together could probably kill it. So it does a little... They also go into the book more explicitly, which they don't go into in the movie, but they don't not say it either, that the alien has some psychic ability, which is how it is so good at copying people, that it can not only genetically copy them, but it can impersonate them because it could read their mind while it was copying them. So.
Ooh. See, that debunks one of my theories about if you wanted to, you would just have a code word that you would say so that you're are you the alien? What was our code word? If it can't repeat it back, but if it's psychic, then that's a real problem too.
I mean, it is explicitly in the short story, but they didn't include that in any explicit way in the movie. So it could not be, they don't say either way. So it does seem to be good at impersonating people, but also doesn't try too hard to really fool people. Anytime they confront it, it pretty much attacks. So it's not really playing that long game of there are two Captain Kirks. Which one of us is the fake one? You have to decide based on this conversation. It doesn't really do that game a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think that this movie is paced incredibly well. I think that it is a super evocative movie. I love the cinematography. Obviously, we've talked about the practical effects multiple times. And I think practical effects, like we've talked about, are not just great because they age better. Even when these look kind of old, they're still interesting and fun to watch in a way that purely digital effects aren't always, when they age badly. And also, you give the actors so much more to respond to. This was all happening in the room with them, and a lot of it, they had intentionally kept them from seeing tests of it and stuff before they used it in a scene, so that they could be freaked out and stuff by what it was doing in the shots. Maybe borrowing a little from Ridley Scott with Alien there. You're oh shit, that famous story. But yeah, I think the sense of paranoia and the fear of the other, and just the feeling of insignificance of your ability to do anything about something bad to stop it is all makes this the best Lovecraft adaptation that actually isn't a Lovecraft adaptation, but kind of is.
Sure. It's got the feeling is there for sure. It's got the tendrils, if you will. So that works.
Yeah. That existential horror is really good. Also, one thing that I think is interesting from the book is that they imply that the alien was aware of the passage of time while it was frozen in the ice.
Oh,
so for like 4 million years, that's almost the scariest part of the book for me, is that alien was stuck in ice for like 4 million years and was aware of it. I'm surprised at its willingness to go back to being frozen again, to still
right. I'd be angry too.
Have a chance of infecting the world. But yeah. But yeah, I think this is a great movie. I think the acting is really incredible. A lot of times horror movies can have some of the best acting and they never get appropriate credit for it. Like Toni Collette should have won some awards for her performance in Hereditary. And she would have if that performance was in like a family drama. But because it was in a horror movie, she wasn't nominated. There are some just incredible performances in this. And so much done without, necessarily being that dialogue heavy. But you get like a real feeling that these guys, and part of this is because these are all John Carpenter go-tos for the most part. You get this feeling that they have a history of working together and stuff, that these are guys who have been trapped at this base for a while with each other and stuff. So you have that sort of weight of their pre-existing relationships and the way that they act and everything. Also, a little bit of John Carpenter trivia. The 1950s, The Thing from Outer Space, is what the kids are watching in Halloween. The kids they're babysitting.
Oh, damn. Okay. All right. It's pretty cool.
So the black and white horror movie that the kids are watching in Halloween is The Thing from Outer Space. So
he seeded it early. He was like, look, potentially this could be
leaving
me.
clues.
And it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fun. That's super fun.
So what did you think of it, Andrew?
Okay. I'm going to say what everyone's thinking, but I thought this was going to go. I thought this would have been the first thing from either of you, but I'll go ahead and say it, and I'll just take a moment for you to both agree. That dog in the beginning gave an Oscar-worthy performance, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't. We don't know how Whitney feels about dogs.
Yeah. I was like, I can't believe that you didn't lead with it. But I was like, this was my first note. I was like, this dog with the pausing and the look and like, it even like gave expressions. I was like,
it did. It did.
How? It's incredible.
But it's also very distracting because in 50% of its screen time, both the posture of its ears and its tail says, this dog is super happy because he knows he's doing a good job. Mm-hmm. Doing like the tail wagging and the ears and whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was distracted by how happy the dog was. Like, especially when he first gets to the camp with all of the Americans and he jumps up on people, it is like, save me. He's very, very excited about doing a good job in that. And, it's very cute. It's a very good dog. And he really does do a extraordinary performance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially considering that there's not CGI to, we had a whole movie about what was that movie that just came out with their dog was CGI? And it was like William Dafoe or somebody, Harrison Ford.
Oh,
Harrison Ford did Call of the Wild with a total CGI dog.
Yeah, the sled dogs. That one.
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking of? Yeah. There was also one with Willem Dafoe. I think that was on Netflix. I think there are two. Yeah, there are definitely two.
Is there a
movies
William Dafoe dog movie? I'm not aware of that. I knew about the Harrison Ford one.
I think there is.
Yeah,
it sounds familiar. I'm conflating both of them, but I think they both exist. Anyway, just with CGI. Nowadays, if you saw a dog emoting that well, you would assume there was some maybe it was all practical and the dog really had the tricks under its belt or whatever, but it had been touched up around the eyes or the mouth to make it more expressive. That wasn't the case. That dog was just that expressive.
The best. So good. Like even the dog, you know?
It is one of my favorite Hollywood facts, though, that often with dog actors, they have to digitally change the position of their tail because the dogs are so excited to just be doing a good job and being there with everybody that when they're in scenes where they're supposed to look scared or angry, they will do the rest of it, but their tails are still up and wagging. And so they have to digitally make their tail be down between their legs.
They know they're good boys.
Yeah,
they know they're
it's like,
good
I'm going to get a
girls.
snack for this. My snack's gonna be incredible. Yeah, I had to lead with that. I think most of my notes are basically like in the order of things that I found incredible about this movie, and it starts with an incredible dog. So there you go. I can't believe it wasn't nominated for like an Oscar or like a dog Oscar, if that's a thing. And if it's not, it should be a thing.
Let's make it a thing.
Yeah, the animal actors should get Oscars. Agreed.
I would never miss the dog Oscars.
Yeah. Can you imagine the numbers bump for the 20 minutes that they were presenting the animal Oscar?
I would be that. It would be like an inverse, like if you look at the trend line for the the viewership of the current Academy Awards, but then all of a sudden you introduce animals or just as a separate one that goes alongside it. I think you'd see a curve that was pretty incredible to behold. Like no one's watching.
I think so too.
Yeah.
When you cut to them when you're doing the nominees and playing a clip and they're like wearing little bow ties and stuff. Incredible.
It's going to be so good. Imagine just being in that room full of all the good boys. And oh, man. All right. Wow, that's like a very happy feeling. It's like the opposite of what this movie gave me like in terms of a feeling. But I really like to imagine what we just kind of built. And that's great. I'm so happy now.
That's a really great thing to imagine. Yeah, I love dogs. I mean, I love all animals, but I really love dogs.
They're the best. So lots of good dogs in this movie. Right out of the gate.
I get so upset when they put the dog in the kennel with the other dogs that I know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you're like, oh no, this dog's going to get sprayed with some weird goo. No. That's bad.
They sprayed a couple of dogs with goo and it was upsetting.
Yeah.
But one actually, there was they had a super soaker full of goo and was shooting it at the dog who was like, wait, no, stop.
Yeah, don't do that.
Well,
and then he ran
I
away.
even meant in the fiction of the dogs being locked up with it, not just the dogs that are about to be sprayed with goo.
No, but literally they did spray a dog with goo and the dog was like, hold up.
Right, don't do
anything.
So that's very good. Might be the best part. I don't know. It's hard to narrow it down now. I'm so distracted by the thought of so many animals in a room getting awards with bow ties, but I'll try to persist.
It's hard not to think about.
It's really difficult. I'll echo what you both said. The score of this movie is incredible. It has the synthy John Carpenter thing going on, but then there are those crazy horror strings that occasionally come in that offset it, and it's part of my brain says it shouldn't work. Like when you have this thumping synth, dun dun dun, and then these horror strings come. But I'm like, they did it, and there's a reason why that guy got paid what he got paid to make all this music in Hollywood. So good stuff. The one thing that I thought about when I watched this movie this time around was how much of a cultural impact this movie has had, pop culture wise. I'm thinking specifically of it's like recency bias, but a game like Among Us or Werewolf or Secret Hitler is basically this movie,
is so good. Yeah.
with your friends, and I just love that so much that that's how I mean, it's obviously based on a story based on a story based on a story, but I think the people that are making the games now are probably using this exact film as their touchstone.
There's an episode of the X-Files that is just this movie. Abbreviated. They go to the Antarctic. There's an alien that infects people. They don't know who to trust.
But they're little ice worms.
What?
That get in your brain.
Yeah.
So Yeah, they're ice worms that get into your brain and take you over and make you act for the alien and try and infect everybody else. So it can't change into you, but it can take you over, and it's the same. We don't know who to trust.
Interesting.
In fact, the line that everybody says when they're getting is, "We don't know who we are."
We are not who we are.
People don't even know whether they're infected. Or yes, thank you. We are not who we are, because it's like a Invasion of the Body Snatchers crossed with the thing.
Oh, well, that might be the touchstone, which is then removed about 10 to 15 years, I guess. When the X-Files, I don't know when that exactly aired, but that's interesting. I must have dropped off the X-Files.
Probably about 10 years, I think.
Yeah. That is pretty cool, though. But regardless, it's still kind of neat to see that it's still in the culture, and that, you know, we can take this very horrifying concept and have a little bit of fun with it, which is nice. The one thing I'll say is I love the idea that the horror, the environment, or maybe not the environment, like the landscape reinforces like this terror. And it's funny because it's like generally you wouldn't consider like something so wide open to be so terrifying, but in this movie you're like, holy shit, there is nothing. Like that's part of this.
There's nowhere to go.
So
there's nowhere to
big.
run.
There's no cover, nothing. Like it's this base in the middle of goddamn nowhere, and then nothing. And I really like that. It kind of reminded me of, I was trying to think of like other horror movies that do that, and like basically anyone that happens on the ocean, like open was it open
or
water?
In space?
Or
There's
in
a lot
space,
of horror
alien,
movies in space that do the same thing.
Yeah. I thought that The Strangers, if you ever saw that, either one of those films, I think there was an original and then the new one. It's like this farmhouse and it's surrounded by acres of land but nothing. You're like, holy, it's very cool.
Well, even like Texas Chainsaw Massacre has a similar.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a great example. Yeah.
Because, I mean, one of the most horrifying parts of Texas Chainsaw Massacre is when she thinks she gets out, and then the driver she flags down is another member of the family because she's all still on their land.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is a real bummer for you.
So I just spent like a half an hour running, and then I'm right back where I started.
No, it's very scary. Kind of building on that, and how it starts off with like a vastness, and then gradually it gets smaller and smaller and smaller, like because like we lose light, and then we lose actual parts of the research center, and so it's like I love the sense of claustrophobia at the end, like the storm is rolling in and all this stuff. So again, it's all world building, it's pacing, it's tension, and Carpenter is incredible at this. So it's no surprise. It really, really works.
Yeah.
It really does. It is that sense of like being on the ocean or in space where life is so precarious anyways that the second you start messing with it, you're already fucked, which is part of the reason why, like, towards the end of the movie, I think they all get on board so quickly with the decision of we're just going to have to blow everything up and we're all going to die. Because we've already started to do things like break in a window to get inside when you guys locked me outside, and we can only do so much of that before we're dead anyways.
That was it. Yeah. Like every time they start a fire, I'm like, oh shit, the whole if this place goes up in flames, we already saw what happened to the Norwegians. Like, it's just a matter of time.
And supposedly the flamethrowers were actually a thing that critics picked on early. Like, why do they have all these flamethrowers? And John Carpenter had actually researched the equipment that would be available to them. And they did use flamethrowers to de-ice helicopters, because if you just park it there, it freezes. So they had flamethrowers to de-ice. So he actually was like, no, you can't. Yeah, they had them on an Antarctic expedition. I don't know that they would have had as many of them as they had, but he was like, you can't get me on that. It's in their inventory.
I did at the very beginning of the movie have a question of who was in charge of lugging the pinball machine there.
I thought that too.
Yeah.
Like the fact that even just when he pours the whiskey into the chess computer, I'm like,
you're like, wait a minute.
You just broke one of the few entertainment things you have here, and now you also have a piece of trash that's like heavy and big.
Yeah. And how much did that computer cost back then? It's tens of thousands of dollars, probably. He got mad. He got angry that it beat him at chess. So That's a funny thing that you bring up, Whitney, about the pinball machine, because this is basically, and I cannot be the first, and I'd certainly not even the 1,000th person to take notice of this, but like, we'll be through all of them soon. But is every Kurt Russell and John Carpenter movie a Western in disguise? Because that's basically their saloon, right? With the pinball machine and the whiskey and all this stuff. He literally puts on a cowboy hat for a few scenes in this movie. I'm like, oh yeah, it's like we're on a frontier of sorts, I guess. And like, it's all. I mean,
when you really get down to it, a lot of movies could be classified as, just like a lot of movies that are not horror per se could be classified as horror, and it kind of just depends on your definition. Particularly with the like John Carpenter machismo, I think a lot of them you could technically qualify as a Western, because there's a lot of elements that he repeats over and over again that are very Western elements.
Yeah. I loved it. As someone who has seen quite a few Westerns and feels, like meh about maybe half of them. This was very effective because it was like in disguise. I kind of like the blending of the genre. If you can do something, if you could take the elements that make one genre effective and apply it to another one, like what was done here, clearly, I think that's a recipe for success. And John Carpenter is clearly both a fan, but also very good at doing this sort of thing. He's a fan of the genre of a cowboy or Western, but he's like, let me just apply it to this thing that I'm very, very good at, which is the results are great. And then I think the final thing, I have two final things. And I just wrote down that this movie is full of extremes. So I wrote extreme openness and extreme claustrophobia. If something isn't frozen, it's on fire. We trust people, then we murder them. And then like there's long bits of quiet tension and then like short bursts of vicious monster gut explosions. So it's a great, it makes for like great back and forth. It's really something to behold. He's like a master of this.
He is a master of it, and I think that it's something to really pay attention to in this day and age where 90% of the time when we're watching movies, I'm paying most of my attention to the movie, but I definitely have my phone. And I am definitely like checking Facebook or checking email or doing whatever, texting somebody about what I'm making for dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
While I'm watching this movie. And I think when you have those extremes like that, and when you have them in a perfect balance, like John Carpenter does in this movie, I didn't look at my phone, even though I've seen this movie before and was rewatching it for this podcast. I didn't really look at my phone at all because it just keeps the pace going where you have to pay attention, because the quiet moments, A, have a lot of exposition in them, but also B, go immediately into screaming monsters shooting blood and gore everywhere. And you have to, like, if you're not paying attention, you miss how we got there. And I think that it's for an audience that is largely watching with one eye and having the other eye on a device or kids or pets or whatever these days, that it's like a lesson people should take in how to really keep the viewer engaged.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you look down to check Twitter during this movie and you miss somebody's chest opening like a bear trap. So
yeah. And then my last nerdy note is what I actually wrote. There are characters in this movie by the name of Mac and Windows, and I just thought that was very funny to me in a very nerdy kind of way. And
it is.
How could he have known? Even back then, it's just weird. But that's all. That was all. Man, I probably should have led with that. That was like a lame one to end it on. But dog Oscars, there we go.
Dog Oscars. If you get sad anytime in the next week, just think about animal Oscars, and you'll feel better. I
want to say in Discord, There is technically a dog Oscars. It's called the Patsy Awards. It's an acronym, Patsy. Picture Animal Top Star of the Year. Rhubarb the cat won for Rhubarb, and went on to also star as Cat in Breakfast at Tiffany's and as Cat in the slapstick horror comedy of Terrors. So the Oscars for pets exists. It needs to be televised now, and I will watch.
Yeah, and bow ties.
Bow ties for cats might be tricky, but I would really, really love to see it. Dogs, I feel like that's no problem.
We can do like tiaras and monocles and top hats too. It doesn't have to be
boots.
just bow ties.
I'd love to see some stylish boots.
They need to be fancy.
Fancy animals.
It's true. This is great. Do y'all have any other thoughts about this? I think I think we talked about it already. Kurt was great, but it's like a very straightforward role for him. He played this kind of stoic hero with leadership thrust upon him, pretty well.
He kind of demands that everybody thrust leadership upon him pretty
yeah,
firmly.
It's true.
So, this wasn't exactly the reluctant, okay, fine, if you all need direction. This was everybody listen to me or I will shoot you.
Right. I have a flamethrower and I'm not afraid to use it. Give me that gun, sir.
As one of the only people who ever seemed really, really 100% sure that he wasn't an alien.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, that's true. He did his blood and then it was like nothing. It was like, yes, of course. Next.
Which to me does, it's John Carpenter. He could have done any number of things. But the end, we follow him too much. He's too much the protagonist of the story. And he's too convinced throughout the entire movie. And it's proven to be true in the blood test. Now, could he have gotten, after the blood test scene, could he have gotten infected? Sure. But I really think that it's not as ambiguous as everyone wants to believe, whether or not MacReady is infected or not.
Yeah.
This is one of the fan theory things is that, first of all, if it's Childs, he got infected after the blood test scene, too. They were both human in the blood test scene.
But we don't see Childs for, the next 20 minutes after the blood test scene. MacReady were with, the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that part of the end theory thing about we follow MacReady much more closely. It would be much harder, especially from that point. There isn't really any scene without MacReady in it that we would be able to, see if he got infected. But also that when they're sharing the alcohol, that it's actually gasoline is one of the fan theories. And that MacReady gives it to Childs to see if Childs will drink it and react to it. And when he doesn't, MacReady knows he's the alien.
Dang. That's... I don't think we have any. That's like a stretch because when would that have happened? The swap for alcohol to gasoline,
this
but
is one of the
pretty cool if true.
That one doesn't fly for me. That one's too far fetched. He has too much going on and too many things to worry about to be like, I'm going to carry around a bottle of liquor filled with gasoline. Just in case I can accidentally, catch out an alien by surprise.
I think the implication is that he had the ignition for the flamethrowers. And,
But why was it in a scotch bottle?
Is it in a scotch bottle? I don't remember if it is.
It was in the, because I remember it was J&B. That was what they were drinking pretty much. Yeah. But yeah, he did have those on his, he did have a belt pack of what looked like fuel for the flamethrower, but I'm not ruling it out. I'm just saying,
it's not impossible. There's a lot of times where we don't see somebody doing something and they could have filled up a bottle of scotch with gasoline, but also
this is just one of the fan theories that if you do watch the scene, Kurt Russell makes a face when Childs drinks.
No, he does. He kind of chuckles in a weird way. Yeah. But so
that's I'm not. It's not my theory. I'm just saying it's one of the.
That's a reach. Is all I'm saying.
That whole part is great because it's it's an acknowledgement. We're both. Well, unless someone's infected, which John Carpenter said that's true. It's we're both going to freeze, right? So
yes,
that whole thing of
I read that
if we
chuckle
have any surprises,
as
it's great.
I read that chuckle as a sort of mirthless, nihilistic. We're drinking together because we're about to die together.
Yeah. And also, I think kind of an acknowledgement of like that McCready is not surprised, but also kind of amused, but that Childs is the other one to make it. Is I think not is part of what's going on in that interaction that people read as like him trying to catch him out as the alien or whatever.
It's like, obviously we're the two toughest son of a guns here. We're going to be the ones to freeze to death at the end.
It was going to be you and it was going to be me.
Yeah, it's always
if we didn't kill each other, we were going to be the ones to make it to the end.
Yeah. I have a special surprise. We have a listener who has requested to speak. So I'm gonna boop Claire in. Claire, let's see what happens. I press the button. Claire, I think you're on the air.
Hey.
Claire,
hello,
you made it.
Claire.
Hello, Claire.
I was just popping in to offer my mom's take on that final scene, which was Mac should not have survived throwing the dynamite into the thing's mouth from such a close range. So her theory is he dies in that scene, and the him that finds Childs is a thing.
Oh.
He actually dies in that final confrontation because
it's a lot of
they sort of say on the DVD commentary, there's a DVD commentary that Kurt Russell and John Carpenter recorded where they discuss the question of whether you would know you were a thing or not. So it opens the possibility that in that last exchange where Mac thinks he's killed the thing, he's actually killed himself and been replaced by the thing.
Whoa. Okay.
I like it. That's way better than gasoline in a scotch bottle.
No, I think that makes the tension of that last scene way more interesting if that's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a theory cool. I can get behind.
I like that. I like that a lot. He is wearing, at the end there, McCready is wearing a pretty thick layer of plot armor, though. Did you consider that with the dynamite? Because he's well insulated from,
But it's a movie where nobody else has had any plot armor for any reason whatsoever, right? Like, not even the dogs. So, why would John Carpenter suddenly throw plot armor around his favorite character at the last second?
Well, I mean, he has had it. Yeah, no, it's a great thought. I love it. He has had plot armor for the rest of the movie, though, when he's right about that. I mean, like, they keep saying when he like, cut the line up at his shack and stuff that there's no way anybody can make it back, without a line, without freezing to death and stuff. And so he did several times dodge things that I think would have killed other characters if he wasn't the
he was always on the verge. But, that that is that's actually one of the more interesting. That's very cool. The fact that he...
Well, and now that I'm thinking about it,
do deform when it's copying you, so it could definitely have been.
Weren't there McCready long johns that were abandoned at one point?
It was a McCready flight jacket, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was one of the main reasons they suspected him before the blood test, though. That was before the blood test scene. That's when they cut the line and leave him out in the snow. Childs does because he found his jacket.
Yeah.
I will say about the long johns, my father's complaint about this movie is they find long johns that have been ripped through by the thing, and they don't immediately just strip search each other to see who isn't currently wearing long johns.
Right.
That was my father's feedback, was that this movie would be improved with a strip search.
I'm with your dad on that because I had that thought too. I'm like, if you were unless they have like multiple identical pairs of long johns, why are you not checking who doesn't have long johns?
Yeah.
This very solid point.
Hey, I'm game. I'd watch that too. I'd watch that movie too. If that's how things went, let's go. Everyone depant now.
Yeah.
Anything else, Claire? Did you like it? Did you enjoy the movie overall? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had seen this one before, but I did like it. It's the first time I've ever watched a director's commentary. Actually, it's the only one I was interested enough in to watch, and I also went back and watched The Thing from Another World, to which this movie is like kind of a remake. Yeah. And it's interesting, on the DVD commentary, they're talking about like, oh, the critics didn't like that we didn't have any women. And then I went back to the original movie and there were like 2 super great women in it. So I was kind of like, okay, so you chose to cut the women. But, like Lindsay says, that's just her feminist brain.
Yeah. They're in the original story, too. Even in the Who Goes There, the short story that the 50s one is based on, there's women scientists. So they were doing it in the 20s and the 50s. They couldn't do it in the 80s. It seems pretty unbelievable.
Who do we blame for this? Bill?
Carpenter. No, that's Carpenter.
I think Carpenter may have been trying to cut the possibility of a love angle because the 50s movie ends with a romantic happy ending. And he may have wanted to telegraph that's not where this is going, right?
Yeah.
So overall, I think it's a really atmospheric, good horror movie. I found it really interesting to look back and compare it to the original as well as to the first movie that was based on the same story. Overall, really a good film, in my opinion.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we're all on the same page with that one.
We're all at the same page.
Oh boy.
Boy.
I think we might be on the same page with this one, but I'm going to ask anyway.
A brief moment of, is he hot in this one? You just want to know, what movie is he pretty in? That's a heavy burden for me alone to bear. Maybe just his character in the last one bugged me enough that I didn't think he was as dreamy. He's very dreamy in this film. Is he hot in this one?
Whitney, go.
Yes.
Easiest yes ever? Easiest yes so far?
He's a little mountain man-y in this one. I mean, I would still second the yes, but I would say he was
hotter in Escape from New York.
Yeah, okay. A little more clean-shaven in the face area. Not clean-shaven, but more so than what's happening here. Yeah.
Well, and his Farrah Fawcett hair was so nice in Escape from New York. And in this one, it's all kind of unkempt,
That's true. If it's not under a hood out in the elements as he's flame-throwing things. Yeah. Okay.
Well, and I think that he was definitely undermined in hotness by the length of his facial hair as far as like them being out in the snow and it freezing and stuff. That's never an attractive look on any person because it's just, it looks like you're about to die. It doesn't look attractive.
The back quarter of the movie.
Yeah. So I think that he's potentially, a little bit, a few points are subtracted just from the length of his facial hair and the freezing element of being in the Antarctic. So I think he is hot in this one. I do think he's hotter in Escape from New York.
Okay. There it is. Yeah, I don't think I've said no really yet, I don't think. But, I'll just go ahead and throw in that yes. And for many of the reasons you said, I think probably Escape from New York for me as well. And it's mainly just a question of the outfit for me. A little bit more exposed arms in Escape from New York. So there, it's just, a little more physique involved.
I was going to say his leggings, and it's like almost a crop top that he's wearing.
Yeah.
In Escape from New York.
Yeah.
Feels very...
way better outfit.
Bill S. Preston-esque, if it was a little bit higher, and a
little bit tougher, it'd be,
So there you go. That's great. That's one of my favorites. That's one of my favorite segments still. I jam to that jam. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I turn beet red every single time. You wouldn't know because this is an audio medium, but picture it in your head.
One day, it is...
I go very red.
It is very funny. It is very funny. I think as we do these and then we get more of your input on various things, I might be able to do like a remix, like a season 3 remix of Is He Hot in this one? We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I might already be in the process of doing that. Yeah.
Oh, no.
We'll see how it goes. Let's pay some bills. Let's do that. How about that? Mm-hmm. If you're at Claire, you can go get some water or adult beverage, whatever you're into. and I'll do this here.
We got to do capitalism for a minute.
We're going to do a capitalism. This is interesting. Does anybody know what they were actually researching on the base? Like, it was a research base, but what were they actually researching?
Ooh, I don't know.
I was wondering about this too, because they never say in this one. They are an exploration and surveying team in the first one and in the short story, but they are the ones who find the spaceship because they are surveying. They're like doing cartography.
The most that they talk about the research is when they're talking about the Norwegian research and how they can't translate any of it, but they want to take it in case it's valuable.
Exactly.
That's the most they talk about research. They don't ever once say what they're doing.
By the way, they fully blow the spaceship up accidentally trying to explode it out of the ice in the story, which, great move, guys. You just blew up tons of alien technology. Way to go.
Son of we would have mishandled it anyway. So
probably.
It's true.
Yeah.
We don't deserve it. Don't give it to us.
That was another ham-fisted way of trying to figure out maybe research. I don't know. If you go on Skillshare, you might have been able to take a class on the kind of research they were doing. But I don't know.
A cartography class on
probably.
Skillshare?
I bet there is.
How useful is cartography?
Surveying. They still survey things.
Now.
Anytime.
Yes.
I mean, that's what like, anytime you build a road or anything, you still have to survey. So that sounds like something you might need to be certified for. Realistically, I don't know for sure, but hey,
if you want to be a hobbyist surveyor,
sure, hobbyist surveyor. Maybe you want to do cartography just to draw your own maps. There are a ton of classes on both map making and drawing on Skillshare. So if you go over there, you could do more concrete research than what was happening in this film, at the very least. So. There it is. Go on Skillshare.
Yeah, I could see hobbyists getting into is this mountain getting taller or shorter? Because all mountains are doing one of those.
Right, exactly. All sorts of interesting plate tectonic type things. Yeah, yeah. I will just say very briefly that I personally vouch for Skillshare as a student and a teacher. It's been a minute since I logged on as a student, but I could tell you that 10 days ago, I pitched the idea to Skillshare for my next class, and they seem very excited about it. So this is very good news overall. Yeah. I love it. I love it as a teacher. And they're very cool people, very helpful in that regard. There are 30,000 individual classes to choose from, and in about 2 weeks, when mine gets all wrapped up, there'll be 30,001. So there you go. I'm going to be the one that tips them over the edge, and you'll be able to learn some cool stuff from me if you choose. There are incredible content outlines, so you can see what you want to learn, what you will learn before plunking down the time, whether that's 30 minutes or 30 hours. Classes range greatly in that regard. And if you're ready to go forward with it, it's $15 month to month. And if it's $8.25 if you prepay annually. The greatest news, free 14-day trial if you sign up at our link, 12and24.com/Skillshare. That is in the show notes. You could tap on that. Be taken to Skillshare. You'll see my picture. I've invited you. You get 14 free days to do whatever you want, learn whatever you want, anything that's on the site. Then you can keep your membership or not. If it's not for you, that's cool. But if you like to learn stuff, a lot about a lot, you know, get a little bit of everything all of the time. If you've watched that,
I have.
So, welcome to the internet.
Have you?
If you got the reference, if you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say. 12and24.com/Skillshare. Help us out. That'd be really cool. Don't feel pressure to either. Either way.
There's a bone.
We're cool either way. We have a sexy indifference about going to our sponsors, I think. So.
Do we?
I mean... I
mean, sexy indifference is my middle name, so I definitely...
That's a great middle name. Whitney, what's your middle name?
Lindsay Sexy Indifference Nelson.
I really like that. That got me. That tickled my funny bone. That was good. Hold on. I'm going to...
I would respond to that, but it would ruin my indifference. So.
It's right. That's why you're such a cool podcast guest. I'm going to crack this open while we're still doing capitalism. Okay. We're done.
Okay, now
capitalism
we're done
ended.
with capitalism.
We're on to the next
Huzzah.
thing. Are you ready for the next thing?
Ready.
Yes.
Claire's ready. Here we go.
Figure it out, asshole. We're gonna find out who's who.
I'd peg us at a D- for this kind of thing.
Keeping you at a disadvantage is an advantage I intend to keep.
Think you can win on talent alone? You don't have enough talent to win on talent alone. I don't remember, okay? Ask about horses again, I'll slap you red. Hey! That was fun!
This is Figure It Out, Asshole. Before anyone asks, I don't have fanfare yet, but I have found where I'm going to steal the fanfare from when someone wins. So progress has been made in that regard, and it is very much Kurt Russell related. Figure It Out, Asshole is our very own quiz show where the host will ask each of us 3 questions. If one of us gets it wrong, the other participants have a chance to steal, assuming they remember the remaining answers, which is it happens far less often than you think. Right, especially if I'm involved. So there we go. Without further ado, let's get our master of ceremonies in here. Coming to you live from the void, it is Charles Nolan.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Charles.
Hello, Charles.
What's going on?
Not a whole lot. What's going on with you?
You know, just doing a podcast.
Living the dream.
Well, here's the thing. Trivia. It's trivia for the thing.
Well,
I did a joke.
Yeah,
You
good
did.
job, Charles. That was a good joke.
You did. You got
Thank
us.
Is everybody ready for Figure It Out, Asshole?
Very much.
Yes.
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 We'll start off with Lindsay. Lindsay, in the first shot we see of the outpost, Wilford Brimley's Dr. Blair is seen playing ping pong with which character? Is it Childs, Knowles, Bennings, or Dr. Copper?
Dr. Copper?
That is correct.
Nicely done. I never would have got that.
Moving on to Whitney. Which of these actors was not initially considered for the role of MacReady? Bruce Willis, Nick Nolte, Clint Eastwood, or Jeff Bridges?
What?
That is incorrect.
Steal.
Andrew.
Nick Nolte.
That is incorrect.
Steele?
Lindsay.
Jeff Bridges?
That is incorrect.
The void gets a point.
Oh, wait a minute.
This feels like a dangerous episode. Oh
no.
Oh no. The void has got sound effects now. I'm very disturbed. This is a scary movie for the void to be earning points on. It just feels...
It
This
is?
pleases me deeply.
Oh my gosh.
Moving on to Andrew.
Okay.
I can't believe Bruce Willis. It's such a weird... Anyway, sorry.
We gotta process that, yeah.
We hear the song Superstitious being played by Knowles, and someone asks him to turn it down. Who is that someone?
Oh.
Was it MacReady, Dr. Blair, Childs, or Bennings?
I think it was Bennings.
That is correct.
Yes! All right.
So ready to steal if you didn't get that.
I was also so ready to steal.
I was like, it definitely wasn't McCready. I know that. It was one of the older guys. I was like, is it Blair or was it Bennings? All right.
Well, it's because he got shot that he's napping in the middle of the
That's
day,
right.
so
Yeah.
Moving on to Lindsay. Which uncredited actress provided the voice for the chess computer? Was it Jamie Lee Curtis, Adrienne Barbeau, Susan Hubley, or Sigourney Weaver?
Whoa.
Adrienne Barbeau?
That is correct.
Nicely done.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Moving on to Whitney.
Yes.
The Thiokol is a yellow snow-tracked vehicle that the station has. What model Thiokol is it? Is it the Sprite, the Juggernaut, the Bombardier, or the 30T?
The Bombardier.
That is correct.
Nice. Didn't even have to think about it.
No, I actually specifically noticed the Bombardier like printing on the machine this time around. So very
Nice.
fortuitous. I just happened to be like, Bombardier, interesting.
All right.
Nicely done. Moving on to Andrew.
Okay.
What country does Mac keep conflating with Norway when discussing the Norwegians? Was it Finland, Denmark, Sweden, or Belgium?
I'm going to hate it if I get this wrong. I think it was Sweden.
That is correct.
Yes. Okay. The Swedes. Yeah.
Back up to the top of the round with Lindsay. When the team confronts McCready in the storeroom, there is a box that has printed on it the name of a popular candy item. What is it? Is it malted milk balls, Hershey Kisses, Snow Caps, or Milk Duds?
Milk Duds?
That is correct.
Dang.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very nicely done. Moving on to Whitney. Richard Macer turned down a role in what movie featuring aliens to act in this movie instead? Was it Parasite, E.T., Earthbound, or Alien?
E.T.
That is correct.
Woo-hoo! That was pure guess.
It came out the same year as this
Yeah,
movie.
well, that's all I had to go on. But that is 100% pure, unadulterated guess.
Well played.
Guesses still count.
Thank God.
Moving on to Andrew. In the blood test scene, who does McCready test first? Was it himself, Clark, Dr. Copper, or Windows?
Windows?
That is correct.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, I think every time I see that he should have tested himself first. I think that every time.
Yeah. Put everyone at ease. Come on. You're the guy holding a flamethrower and a gun. Come on.
I think he wanted to prove the concept first.
Fair.
That's
but I
true.
don't know. I was not there. Back up to the top of the order for the last round of regulation. Figure it out, asshole. With Lindsay. Who was the first confirmed station member taken by the Thing? Was it Clark, Bennings, Knowles, or Gary?
Gary.
That is incorrect.
Clark. Sorry. Oh, I should have said that.
Steele.
Whitney.
Clark.
That is incorrect.
Okay. I did it for the vine. I didn't actually know if it was Clark or not, but I would be really funny if Lindsay said, "Oh, it's Clark," and then it was Clark.
And it was Clark, yeah.
Yeah, and you snatched it. So it would be good.
Steele.
Andrew.
Shit. I can't remember who the Benning? Was that one?
Bennings is correct.
Benning. That guy.
That guy. Moving on to Whitney.
All right.
Which acclaimed horror director was originally slated to direct and co-write this movie? Was it Steve Miner, George Romero, Tobe Hooper, or Wes Craven?
Tobe Hooper?
That is correct.
Nice.
Well done.
Nice.
Gonna call you all Usain Bolt because you're running away with it. Andrew, for the final question of regulation, figure it out, asshole.
Okay.
Which of these physical board games is not seen in the station at some point? Trouble, chess, easy money, or backgammon?
Easy money.
That is incorrect.
Damn it.
Steele.
Whitney.
Nope, Lindsay.
Nope, sorry, Lindsay.
Trouble?
That is correct.
That was going to be my guess.
There you go. There you go.
Trouble came out later than this movie, I think.
Yeah, and I feel like my brain would have pinged on Trouble more than it would have on, like, backgammon, so.
Trouble came out in 1965.
Oh. Okay.
Damn.
All right, move on to the bonus round of Figure It Out, Asshole. In the bonus round, questions are not posed to any one player. Players get to buzz in and give their answer. If they buzz in before the choices are finished being given, they do not get to hear the rest of the choices.
That's a new wrinkle. That's a new wrinkle, everyone. Be careful.
I feel like we had that coming, though.
We did have that coming.
Uh-huh.
Let's hear everybody's buzzer noise, starting with Lindsay.
Ding, ding, ding.
Moving on to Whitney.
Me.
And Andrew.
Bzz.
Wonderful. Bonus round question number 1. How many stitches does George get from the bullet grazing his leg at the start of the movie?
Me.
Is it
Oh.
Whitney?
Oh, I was going to wait.
4.
That is correct.
I almost really blew it for everybody, but
Yeah, well,
I remember him saying 4 stitches.
yeah. This is a brutal way to just troll the other contestants as well. I could just yell out anything and just ruin it. You know what I'm saying? But I won't. But I could.
Yeah.
So be careful.
Who are you telling to be careful?
My fellow contestants, of course.
Bonus round question number 2. What was the number of the outpost? Was it 26, 31, 43, or 52?
Ding, ding, ding.
Lindsay.
Damn it.
26?
That is incorrect.
Bzz.
Andrew.
31.
That is correct.
All right.
Nice.
I did not know that one off the top of my head. That would have been a bad one to call out.
And now we are at the final question, unless a tiebreaker is needed, and it might be. What is the last word of this movie? Is it happens, while, it, or thing?
Me.
Whitney.
Happens.
Happens is correct.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what
Sit
happens.
here a while, see what happens.
Yep.
So that means our scores are the Void with 1 point.
Oh, no.
And a very, very, very close Lindsay with 4 points, Whitney and Andrew each with 5.
What?
This is most unprecedented.
Yep.
This is very much unprecedented. I'm sorry for delivering such an easy trivia. I will make the next one much, much harder.
No!
For a tiebreaker question, you both get to make a guess. The closest will win.
Oh.
Interesting.
Price is Right style?
It is closest, but if you are equidistant from the answer, the lower guess will win. How much did this movie make in the box office during opening weekend in both US and Canada combined?
Jesus, I have no idea.
How much do movies make in 1982?
$800,000.
In US and Canada, and it was, oh my God, $1.4 million.
We have a guess of 800,000 and 1.4 million. The correct answer is $3,107,897.
Andrew
Andrew
wins.
is the winner.
Yeah! The first time, yes! I think this is the first time, right? Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I think it might be.
I'm terrible at this game.
Congratulations, Andrew.
Thank you. Thank you. Queen wave. Queen wave. Thank you.
I have some additional questions for the audience.
Oh, yeah.
Figure Out Audience is a play-along-at-home game where you can tweet to me at the Nolan, TheNowlin, with your answer to these questions. Our questions from the last episode were, who played Squeaks the Caterpillar? According to the credits said that Squeaks the Caterpillar played Squeaks the Caterpillar.
Trick question.
The second question was, which of Chief's legs is in a cast after his accident with the train? The correct answer was his back left leg. Mm-hmm. No one answered either of these questions.
Mm-hmm. Boo, get in there.
Step it up. Step it up, audience. Come on. Come on.
I'm going to need to see more participation.
We have 2 questions for this week's Figure It Out audience. Question number 1. Early on in the movie, we see the quote-unquote dog walk into a room, and a shadow of a man turns around. Whose shadow was it? I am looking not for the character name, but for the actual person. Question number 2 has choices. The question is, how large is McCready's hat that he wears when piloting the helicopter? Is it very large, comically large, or absurdly large?
I know what I think for that
Nice
one, but
question.
I want to hear what
yeah.
the audience thinks.
Yeah.
I will also take additional answers if you feel there's a better descriptor for how large that hat is.
Fun. Okay.
Yeah.
If you get your answers right, I will give you a shout out on the next episode of Figure It Out Audience.
Incredible. Incredible. Charles, what a round. What another round of Figure It Out audience. And Figure It Out asshole, for that matter. Thank you for all the work that goes into this. It's truly, truly something special.
I appreciate you allowing me to do this.
We appreciate you allowing us to participate.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's mutual.
Yeah.
I appreciate your appreciation.
Oh, no. This is good.
All right, let's bring this one
quickly.
home. We're almost running the runtime of the movie now.
All right. Let's Charles, thanks so much for your time. We'll talk with you on the next episode.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Charles.
Whitney, this is yours. You
It is.
lucky devil, you.
I'm just going to go with the Wikipedia version to run down the plot for any of you who may not have seen it or don't know what happens in this movie. We start in Antarctica. A Norwegian helicopter pursues a sled dog to an American research station. The Americans witness the Norwegian passenger accidentally blow up the helicopter and himself. The Norwegian pilot fires a rifle and shouts at the Americans, but they cannot understand him, and he is shot dead in self-defense by Station Commander Gary. The American helicopter pilot, R.J. McCready, and Dr. Copper leave to investigate the Norwegian base. Among the charred ruins and frozen corpses, they find burned remains of a malformed humanoid, which they recover to the American station. Their biologist, Blair, performs autopsies on the remains and finds a normal set of human organs. Clark kennels the sled dog, and it soon metamorphoses and absorbs the station dogs. The disturbance alerts the team, and Childs uses a flamethrower to incinerate the creature. Blair autopsies the new creature and learns that it can perfectly imitate other organisms. Recovered Norwegian data leads the Americans to a large excavation site containing a partially buried alien spacecraft and a smaller, human-sized dig site. Norris estimates that the alien ship has been buried for at least 100,000 years. Blair grows paranoid that the creature could assimilate all life on Earth in a matter of years. The station implements controls to reduce the risk of assimilation. The malformed humanoid creature assimilates an isolated Bennings, but Windows interrupts the process and McCready burns the Bennings thing. They hyphenate it. It's very cute. The Bennings thing.
It's like Bennings and the Thing got married.
Yeah. Blair sabotages all the vehicles, kills the remaining sled dogs, and destroys the radio to prevent escape. The team imprisons him in a tool shed. Copper suggests a test to compare each member's blood against uncontaminated blood held in storage, but after learning that the blood stores have been destroyed, the men lose faith in Gary, and McCready takes command. McCready, Windows, and Knowles find the burnt corpse and surmise that he committed suicide to avoid assimilation. Windows returns to base while McCready and Knowles investigate McCready's shack. On the return, Knowles abandons McCready in a snowstorm, believing he has been assimilated after finding his torn clothes in the shack. The team debate whether to allow McCready inside, but he breaks in and holds the group at bay with dynamite. During the encounter, Norris appears to suffer a heart attack. As Copper attempts to defibrillate Norris, his chest transforms into a large mouth and bites off Copper's arms, killing him. Yeah. McCready incinerates the Norris thing. Now that the thing gets around, it's now married to Norris. But its head detaches and attempts to escape before also being burnt. McCready is forced to kill Clark in self-defense when the latter lunges at him from behind with a knife. He hypothesizes that the Norris thing's head demonstrated that every part of the thing is an individual life form with its own survival instinct. He has everyone tied up and sequentially tests blood samples with a heated piece of wire. Everyone passes the test except Palmer, whose blood jumps from the heat. Exposed, Palmer thing transforms, breaks free of its bonds, infects Windows, and forcing McCready to incinerate them both. Childs is left on guard while the others go to test Blair. They find that Blair has escaped and has been using vehicle components to assemble a small flying saucer. On their return, Childs is missing and the power generator is destroyed. McCready speculates that the thing intends to return to hibernation until a rescue team arrives. McCready, Gary, and Knowles decide to detonate the entire station to destroy the thing. As they set explosives, Blair kills Gary and Knowles disappears. Transforming into an enormous creature, Blair Thing destroys the detonator. MacReady triggers the explosives using a stick of dynamite, destroying the base. MacReady sits nearby as the station burns. Childs returns, saying he became lost in the storm while pursuing Blair. Exhausted and slowly freezing to death, they acknowledge the futility of their distrust and share a bottle of scotch. The end.
The end. Well, that was the thing. Mm-hmm. The Wikipedia description does not do it justice. You should watch it if you haven't.
It really does not convey any of the movie. Usually you can get a pretty good idea of what the movie is like from the synopsis. That didn't do it. So go watch the movie if you're interested.
Even if that just spoiled you, you'll still enjoy this film. I guarantee it.
Yeah, it'll be... Yeah, that's good.
Do you recommend this film, Andrew? I'm starting with you.
100% yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I love it.
Yes. Great.
How about you?
Yes.
All right. Lindsay?
Yes, go watch The Thing.
It was an easy one. Mm-hmm. All right. This is, I have a feeling, but it could go either way. Where are we putting this on our Kurt Russell movie rankings?
Number 1 for me.
Dang. Okay. So that edged out Escape from New York. Was it easy? Was it an easy recommend over Escape?
I mean, I really enjoy them both, but The Thing is, I think, the rewatchability of The Thing is very high.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you stole exactly what I was going to say. So I think, Escape from New York better as a movie watching experience. However, when you're talking about, if you have Escape from New York and The Thing in front of me, and every day I have to pick one of the two, I'm definitely picking The Thing more than I am Escape from New York. So I think it just for me barely edges out, because I think I like Escape from New York, the premise of it, better.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But the characters and the acting, I think, is richer in The Thing.
And I also think that who destroys the blood bank? The doctor in the shed, when does he get infected? When is he not trustworthy anymore? I think those questions and the ambiguity of the ending lead to more rewatchability. So I think just by a hair for me, The Thing trumps Escape from New York and is number 1 on the list.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of mysteries still in The Thing.
It was a close call for me. I actually grappled with it quite a bit. But The Thing wins just because I think I'm going to watch that more in the rest of my life than I am Escape from New York.
Yeah. This example, what we're experiencing right now, is why I thank God we have a Reckoning episode every single season. Because today it is The Thing, but tomorrow it could be Escape from New York for me. Mm-hmm. So as it stands, I'm putting The Thing at number 1 as well. But it's so close.
It's very, very close for me.
These two together, Carpenter and Kurt Russell, it's like chef's kiss. I don't know what it is, but sometimes I'm happy people find each other, like collaborators, and I'm like, God, what a great thing these two make. So truly, number 1 for all of us. That's great. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. That has been logged as such. All right, let's talk. Here's what I'm going to say. Let's talk next episode. Normally I say let's talk next week. However, let's broaden it out a bit.
Hedge our bets just a little bit because life has been chaotic and getting in the way.
We would love it if it was next week, and it might very well be, but
we're going to try for it to be next week. We will always try for it to be next week.
Yes.
It does not always pan out that way.
On our next episode, I have the distinct honor and privilege of walking us through the film Silkwood. Mm-hmm. I've never seen this movie.
I have never seen this movie.
Yeah.
I'm the only one who's seen this movie? Oh.
Yeah. Academy Award nominated, but I don't know if it won, but nominated. This is like a prestige drama. This is like a real serious, huge movie.
I know nothing about it other than it's a prestige drama. Like, I know of it because it is a prestige drama.
Yeah.
That is literally all I know about it. I have no idea where it takes place or what it's about or if it won an Oscar or anything like that. I just know that it's a notable film of the time.
Big deal.
I mean, you want to talk about a cultural impact. Silkwood had a cultural impact.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm excited. I'm legitimately excited.
Me too.
This is a new thing for Kurt.
Apparently
Really.
not a big enough cultural impact for you guys to know what Silkwood is about, but
I'm sure. I'm sure I'll retroactively get all of the impact. I'll be like, oh, that's where that came from. Okay. But yeah, that'll be great. I'm very much looking forward to that. And yeah, that's our next episode. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Until then, whether that's next week or a year from now, whenever that next episode comes out, Lindsay, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Lindsay Nelson, Nelsen, on Twitter, and I will always talk about anything else that I'm in. So yeah, if you want to hear me on other podcasts, also Historical Hotties, if you want, more of me and a lot more of Whitney as well. We have lots of episodes of us determining the hottest people in history, so you should check that out.
Hells yeah. Hells yeah. Whitney, where can people find and keep up with you?
I am at Whitney_Nelson, Nelsen, on Twitter, and I am on Instagram at Whitney Nelson with no underscore. But I very rarely tweet, and all I post is pictures of food and my pets. So follow either at your own warning. I lost the thread there, but beware.
Just follow.
I rarely tweet.
Just follow.
But maybe she'll post a picture of Buddy in a bow tie accepting an Oscar.
Incredible. See, this is the content.
I may.
This is the content, right? There it is. You can find and follow me most places at Dark Driving, Twitter and Instagram being those two. And I will keep everyone up to date about the new class, which I'm very excited about. It's a lot of work, and I don't want to say that's part of the reason why I've had scheduling conflicts, but maybe it is. So maybe that's part of it.
Can't wait to hear what it's about.
It's incredibly predictable. You would. It's shocking. Absolutely no one. I could put that out there. So, at Dark Driving, Twitter and Instagram, and I'll probably announce it here as well. So join the Discord, 12and24.com/Discord. Also, we're all on there a lot. So I might be speaking for myself, but at least
I'm on there a lot.
Eric
This
and I.
past week I haven't been, but normally I'm on there a lot.
Yeah, Eric and I are on there, I think, every day. So
it's summer and I'm in the gelato business, so
right. It's
normal times of year I'm on there a lot.
Absolutely understand. Let me go ahead and press button pressed. There's that. Thank you both.
So satisfying.
It's the best. Thank you both for joining me. Listeners who tuned in briefly, Claire, everyone else, thanks for tuning in. And in the immortal words of Jack Burton, sit tight, hold the fort, keep the home fires burning.